so, and then we'll have time to talk about everything there. But if you think something comes up you want to talk about it, we can do that, because it doesn't matter exactly how we do it. So I guess I'm here to begin this process of addressing the commitment that your president made for Bennington College to become climate neutral.
Is making.
Is making.
Yes.
Hopefully will make it. So what you,
by this summer, we're shooting.
right, but well, don't scare her away, because it's a very important thing to do. And now you're among one of about 700 or so universities and colleges that have taken on this very, very important challenge, because we face many, many issues, all of which will undo or have the capacity to undo civilization. But climate change is one that's present here and now, and it's in many ways a very addressable challenge. In other words, we can do it. That is to say, we can lessen the impact of the climate change we're going to have. And if you're really honest about it, we have already bought disaster. We're making a very serious down payment every day that goes by on catastrophe. We probably can live through and keep civilization intact with disaster. I think all bets are off if we get into climate catastrophe. And so we really need to address this problem. We're going to have a geologist talk with you next time to give you more details. I'm going to show you a few little things, and then I'm going to kind of give you a little, I'm a scientist by training. I'm going to give you a little test tube experiment that was successfully run that we did in Oberlin with our home. Is what you need to do in all aspects, and I'll try to spell that out and scale it up. And many universities are trying to do that. So, if you look at that for a moment, this represents some very important understandings which you need to acquire. And what do you think those images represent for an important understanding? Can you think of a large, important understanding that's necessary for our civilization to really persist? What are the top two images? Bring out in your minds. Let's say something.
Transformation.
Well, yeah, we need a transformation to deal with what this is talking about, but what are they talking about? Yes?
Functioning ecosystem.
Yeah, they're talking about really biodiversity. Life support, what makes our living possible, is provided by biodiversity. And we're in the midst of a human-caused mass extinction, 6th mass extinction. We need to slow down on that. And that actually, the third image down there. And what does that fourth image tell you about what we have to recognize as a fundamental understanding?
The way that all those ecosystems are intertwined and how everything
Larger, that's, you're moving in that direction. What is,
We can't escape.
We're on, what was that, this image first elicited, Spaceship Earth. It is a single planet. It's one thing. It's finite. I mean, it's bloody big, but I mean, it's finite. And there are now 7 billion of us eating it up right now in terms of its life support. So I want to talk about belief. There's another fundamental understanding we have to have, belief. And what we know is that humans can believe anything. Anything, regardless of credible evidence. Now, there may be credible evidence. You certainly can believe things that have credible evidence. But credible evidence is not important in terms of what we believe. And we could go through and cite numerous examples. And this is a very, very powerfully adaptive, selective character trait for us. It's allowed us to survive and persist under, and in a sense, actually make impossible situations possible. But there are other problems with it also. It has its downsides. And the Heaven's Gate cult here is very interesting. I don't want, you can go Google it and read about it, but essentially it came out and started in 1975 when a group of people went to the Arizona desert to rendezvous with some aliens on a UFO. And it played out from that, and they had a set of beliefs. I don't want to talk about it, but they believed they were special in this cult, and that there were evil forces ruling the planet, and that they were connected to Christ, and that they were going to, in fact, be able to go to heaven, and it had to do with comets and other things. And then in 1997, some 40 of them committed suicide over 3 nights so that they could join aliens and go to heaven and move more to higher being here in the tail of Hale-Bopp comet, and they did it on the days when the comet came closest to Earth. So if that isn't believing anything without any credible evidence, I'm not sure what is. But we have a more recent example. We heard the mantra, weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, until in the United States, up toward the high peak, 70% of people believe in the United States there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq that Saddam Hussein had, and they believe they were there despite that none were ever found. Climate change is a hoax. We have a large fraction of people in the United States House of Representatives and the Senate who consider it a hoax. Much of what each of us believes, despite these kinds of beliefs, which are quite problematic to believe those things when in fact they're either true or not true, leads to really decisions to do things that are not in the best interests of our society. But at the same time, many of us believe in many things that are just false. In fact, as my contention is, if we go into most of our heads, the majority of things we believe are demonstrably false. But I don't have any data for that. I just know that I hold a lot of beliefs, and when I explore them and look at them, I say, well, how could I ever believe that? That's clearly not true, once I figured out and studied what was going on. So this is an adaptive trait. It's very important. That's the site for those images. So now I want to go into another bit, understanding this and representing this. So what you want to do, if you're going to be careful, you want to create a culture and a society that believes in things that are important for your adaptation and your survival. And things that are contrary to that, you do not want to believe those and work to rid those from the cultural belief system. Human economics. The first thing we know about human economics is a human creation. We made it up. And the second thing is that it's human rules. Since we made up the game, we made up the rules, and there are no fundamental principles in economics. Okay? Now, economists might come in here and debate with me, and we could have a nice time doing that. But there are no fundamental principles. You can't go from one culture to another culture to whatever. It's not found. It's just not there. It's a creation, this particular system that we've created. And you can create many. Now, money is a wonderful thing. An amazing convenience. But it has no biophysical meaning. There is nothing in the biological world that's equivalent to money. It's a creation we've made up.